All right, let's call order the March 2025 meeting of the Parks and Rec Advisory Board. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Let's see, the first thing we really do is the adoption of the agenda. Corey, I didn't notice. Did you send that out earlier?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. I have it in my hands because it won't print it here. But if for all the board members, if you could take a look at the agenda and let me know what you think, and if you have any updates to it, or if you'd like to move to approve. Any comments from any? Or do I hear a motion to approve the minutes? Sorry, not the minutes, the agenda.
I moved.
Okay, thank you so much. Do we have a second online? We have, I thought we had, Josh was here. Is he still here?
Yeah, sorry, I just was changing locations.
Totally fine, totally fine. I think given the number of board members we have, I think we would, if we want to, we need your second of the agenda.
Seconded then.
Right. And since that is all of us, I'm gonna ask, but I think I know the answer. All in favor of approving the agenda, please indicate so. Aye. All right, that's everybody. Next on is the approval of last month's meetings. Also, Corey sent those out very kindly. Take a look at those. Let me know if you have any questions or updates, or if you move and or second that. The approval of that, I mean.
Sorry, I'm still just readjusting. I will move whatever I need to move or second whatever I need to second.
I'll take that as a move.
Second.
Thank you so much. I feel like kind of an auctioneer tonight. It's kind of
There you
fun. Okay, well, with that, take a look at those board minutes from last month, and if you approve the adoption of those, please indicate so. All in favor? That's all of us. Any opposed? Great, I didn't think so. Okay, those parts are approved. And now we're on to the actual business. So first on our list is Ross, who's here from the LFP Secret Garden Tour. It's not that secret, but we have
The gardens are secret.
yes, the gardens are secret. But we have an update on a art installation in a park. Do you want to take it from here?
Sure.
Okay.
So we had an art committee, included Tyler. We selected an artist, Melissa Cole, who lives in the Spokane Valley. A fabulous mosaic artist, and she paints as well. And we've been working with her, and she's come up with a design and a maquette, which is a model. This is for Horizon View Park. And I'm very excited about this. I think it's cute. I don't know how.
Can you walk it closer? Is that a thing?
Where would it go?
Or that camera up on top? So yeah, where would this be?
So there's some question, we picked a wonderful spot, but
Neat.
Public Works has to look at it and
Okay.
discuss it, and so it isn't confirmed.
Birdie.
We wanted to put it on a knoll just north of the swings, between the swings and the path that goes around.
Okay.
But it's been pointed out that that might not be handicapped accessible. And it might not be level enough for the size of the pad that it needs. So
Okay.
we're gonna be discussing that further, but this is the design. And I'm gonna just read you Melissa's
Oh, perfect, yeah.
description of the project. Glasses on so I can read. She's calling it Nature's Repose. It is a sculptural interactive seating proposal specifically designed to be installed within the boundaries of Horizon View Park. It highlights the flora and the fauna found in and around the park. Slated for installation on top of the grassy hill beside the playground, it offers bench seating and views in either direction. So as you may have noticed, there's a bench on both sides. On either side of the two concrete benches with a backrest in between are two steel sculptures. One represents a fern frond with a western swallowtail butterfly. That park is just full of ferns, so we thought that would be a good thing to put in here. And the other side, a native bleeding heart flower with western bumblebee. Bumblebee is right there. The sculptural seating offers a great location to sit and watch children at play, as well as a memorable place to take selfies. We think it will be a real fun icon in the park and that kids will want to sit on it and families will take pictures and so forth. But we, as I said, we may have to move the location to something a little more level and more accessible, unfortunately. So the benches right now are designed to be 6 feet long. And we may scale that back to 5 feet so that the pad doesn't have to be quite so long. So the pad may be 12 feet long and 6 feet wide. The fern will be 8 feet high. I think this is
maybe 5.
3 feet high. I think
Oh.
that doesn't make sense, but that's what
5
it says there.
feet.
The back, yeah, it must be higher than that. The back of the bench is 5.5 feet high. So the base of this, if you happen to notice, there are animals all around the base, and those are gonna be mosaics that the artist is going to help the community create. And we thought that would be a good way to get, she does that a lot with a lot of her projects. There's people that come and have it organized and will take care of most of the work of that, and they put the mosaics on a mesh fabric-y kind of thing, and so she'll install these after the rest of the sculpture's in place. So kids and adults and whoever, whenever we plan this day, can come and do mosaics. So there's a raccoon and a fish and an owl and a bird and a rabbit, and even though we don't like those very much, and a salmon. So it'll be a really fun piece to look at and partly made by the community. And so we're pretty
Yeah,
excited
she
about
seemed
that.
pretty into that part of it. I think she
Yeah.
really liked that community engagement part.
Yeah.
And I
So
was wondering how she was gonna do
so as I
that.
said, she's a mosaic artist. She just recently installed this huge fire-breathing dragon at the water treatment plant in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. It's quite amazing. Want to look up Melissa Cole, Cole's work. You can see the kinds of things she does. So does anybody have any questions about this? So we're still hoping for installation, you know, sometime in the summer. It might be late, it might even be September, but the goal is to get it installed this year. So we need to work on the location and then she's ready to start
Cool.
buying her expensive steel.
And this was a gift to the city from the Secret Garden Tour.
Yes, this will be donated to the city and I'll be taking this to the city council Thursday night. So yes, the bench, this center part is all concrete.
Can I ask you can you take it up there again to show the picture, the camera? It might be a little easier for them to see. Oh, it's a little higher there.
Yeah,
It is.
there you go.
Yeah,
So the benches in the back are concrete. They're very heavy.
and about 5.5 feet tall in the middle, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bench scale is 6 feet now, but it could be shorter, in which case the back would be shorter also. The fern and the flower are metal. They're gonna be steel. And the fronds on the fern are gonna be it's kind of thin, although she said it's sturdy, perforated steel, so it will have little holes in it and the light can come through. So that's.
And is it for the metal, if I recall, they're painted with like automotive grade paint, right?
Yes, some, I think airplane paint,
Oh.
some auto paint, and then she puts a coating on that to seal it all up.
Mhm.
So it's pretty indestructible. The back of the bench, well, both sides of the bench are mosaics. And then.
And is the concrete on the,
Best view of the creatures there, maybe now.
right,
You can
that's
see the
good.
rabbit. And the fish under the bench, yes. And bird. Raccoon, another fish. And Tyler and I are debating about this little guy. I think it's an owl.
Is there a mountain lion? This is important to me.
I don't know.
Not yet.
You could come that, you could come that day and suggest it.
Okay. That's my
Well,
day
mountain
job. I work on mountain lions for my day job, so
Oh.
got to bring that in. Otherwise, I'm voting against this.
Anything else
No,
you
that's
wanna
conflict of
check
interest.
out?
Never mind. I think that's cool.
Can you remind me how? It is cool. How is the bench? Does the bench is concrete,
The bench
it's-
is concrete.
but
and
it's
has-
painted or?
Has legs and there will be 1/2 inch by 8 inch concrete bolts holding it in.
And the bench would be stained, concrete stained versus paint.
Yes, yes, the
Got it.
bench is not painted.
Okay, but the
It's
the
colored
concrete itself
concrete.
is colored. Okay,
Correct.
got it.
The metal pieces
maintenance-
will be painted and it will all be coated. So the maintenance should be relatively easy. I
Great.
think. She hasn't had any trouble with her mosaics falling out. She said she's had pieces out since, I don't remember what she said, 2009 or something. There's been no problem. She's learned over time what you have to do, what
Yeah.
kind of epoxy, what kind of grout you use to keep things in.
Cool.
So. Did you want to see it? It's up close and
Yeah.
personal.
It's a little delicate, so
It is.
careful with the
She
bronze.
passed
Super glue something.
She sent it to me from Spokane and it was in this huge box and there was just so much bubble wrap and plastic and it was just. But the fern had still fallen over, so. Corey and I just super glued it on and. Seems pretty fun, but yeah, it's a little fragile.
And I say it seems really cool. And very appropriate for the park.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that comment.
Thank you. Yeah.
So we just have to nail down the location.
Sorry, this is, what's the community involvement part of it?
Pardon me?
What's the community involvement? part of
Yes, the community is, so the base, is all the animals are mosaics.
All
Okay.
So the community is gonna be invited to come make a little piece of the mosaic that she will have completely organized, so it's.
Like assembly, maybe not design by the
Right.
community.
Paint by numbers.
Well,
Yeah.
she controls the colors and so forth. She said the first time she did it with the community, it was sort of a free for all. She said that didn't work too well.
Yeah.
Had to go
So,
back, redo it all.
So anything
Cool.
else you want to ask about it or?
Yeah, I had a question if I could. Maybe Roz, you could say another word about how you, your process for selecting this artist. Did you do an RFP type process?
Yeah, went in an RFQ. So they send in their qualifications and images of past work. And then we had 11 people apply. And most of them were really highly qualified artists with experience, and we interviewed 3. And she rose to the top with some of her previous works, just had kind of a wow factor. So the committee, there were 3 people from the garden tour committee, myself and Celia and Laura from Shore Lake Arts, and Tyler was on the committee. And Corey from the city, so we had a group. So that's how we selected the artist.
And that was back in what, like late last year, like November,
It's been a
December,
while.
something like that.
It's been a
Yeah.
while. We've
yeah.
been working with this for a while.
There are
Right.
steps that have been going on,
Right,
and we think installation this summer, late this summer, probably.
yes.
Great.
Because we're a little behind where we thought we would be and but that's the goal, is to have it in 2025, and so it would be nice to do it before the cold and the rain set in.
We all agree. See, anything else you need
Do we know
from?
when will we know when that is? I mean, can we plan events around it?
Yes, in fact, the first event that's gonna include this, well, we'll have a booth at the Green Bear on Saturday. We'll be talking about it, and I'll take this with a please do not touch sign. But Sarah Phillips has been talking to me about the tree walk that you folks are all involved in on April 27th. So we'll have this up there and we'll have information about the garden tour, which is June 14th, as well as the artwork, pictures, and we'll have posters probably by then, so we'll be involved in that. And then I don't know, we could do the mosaic day that day, but probably not because it has to be done outside and we don't know what the weather is gonna be. So we'll plan some other day after that for her to come over and set up this mosaic happening. So we'll certainly want you to be involved in that or help get the word out. I'm not worried about getting the word out. I know we can do that. Charlotte Arts will help us through their art channels too. We want the neighborhood involved because sometimes that's been difficult. Put things in the park up there and we want them to be excited about it. And if you have a hand in it, you might be excited about it.
So that'll be then, so the Mosaic Day would be something like July then-ish?
I'm thinking,
Yeah, later this,
sometime in the summer.
Yeah, and it would probably be possible to like maybe put up some like even just yard signs or other things with pictures of the mock-up, where it's going to be, have dates on it for events, help start getting people's minds adapted to something's coming to this spot. Is that sort of what you have in mind for community outreach?
Yeah, we'd probably have a sign up there that would say that, and certainly on the tree walk day, Sarah's putting together a trifold about the project and.
Mhm.
And by city email or. So the, so the garden tour is put on by 4 nonprofits in the community. And they can all send things out too.
Yeah.
So it's Stewardship Foundation, the Garden Club, the Friends of Third Place Commons and Shore Lake Arts are all the organizations that put on the garden tour, which is where the funds are coming from for this. And then we donate it to the city. And the artists will put together a maintenance plan for it as part of our final paperwork. I can see you're still mulling something over.
Me? No, I'm just thinking about, and we haven't, I don't know that I'm not carrying around in my head the schedule of events for the summer. But I know, there will be other events, and if there are ways to link this in with that and to make it a party, then that's great. It's what we love to do.
Right.
yeah.
Party in the
yeah,
park.
we'll,
That's why the tree walk is a perfect idea because it's happening in Horizon View Park.
Right.
which is our next topic.
Which is next on the list, so.
It's like you planned it. It's weird.
Okay,
So
are you gonna send this to them? Should I scan it in or you don't?
I have it. If you just want to meet this and then,
I'm gonna email.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Yeah, thanks.
All right, thanks.
Thank you
letting me
for
come talk
coming
to
and
you.
talk to
yeah,
us
I don't
about
know
it.
if you want to stay to chat with Mark on the tree walk, but you're welcome to. hang
Some
out.
other time.
Okay,
That's what he's talking about, the tree walk.
part of it, yeah.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Thanks so much. Don't forget your maquette. Next on our list is our special guest, our second special guest, from the tree board. That's Mark Phillips. How about if I just turn it over to you? Do you want to just sort of dive into it, Mark?
Well, yeah, that's fine. Thank you. So
Yeah.
glad to be here. The idea is pretty simple. Dick Olmsted is one of our tree board members, a retired professor at the UW in forestry. We have 2 such people on our tree board. And Dick has been working on a series of tree walks. It was like, 15 years ago that David Hepp and some others put together a series of tree walks, short walks around, 4 of them around different parts of the city, just pointing out the trees that are there. And you've probably all seen them, and maybe you've even had a chance to use one of them too. But so anyway, Dick Olmsted has been updating those and putting them onto the city website. I think 2 of them, maybe Corey knows more about this than I do, but I think at least 2 of them are on there, and I think is maybe even a 3rd one now, so that people could access the tree walk from their phone as they walk around the walk. So, and one of them is a horizon view, and that's basically the route that Dick will be following. I don't think he'll be going line by line by what's in the tree walk per se, but he'll be walking around and with people who want to join him and learn about the different kinds of trees that are in Horizon View Park. So it's a pretty simple idea. That's what we'll be doing. And we thought that would probably come last in the agenda. We thought the agenda for the 27th would be to have Roz and others from the Secret Garden Group talk about the art installation, and then we were going to be talking with Tyler that it seemed like you all might want to say something as kind of partners in this effort about parks in Lake Forest Park. And I don't know, there could be anything about that particular park that you'd like to point out, if there are plans, anything planned for the future for Horizon View, or basically anything else that you wanted to talk about in terms of parks in the city. Clearly, it would be good to talk about the lakefront park, and it may be that that's what you just decided to talk about in terms of what work your group has been doing with that and where things stand. I think people would be interested in knowing that. So, and then following that, we will we'll head up to whoever wants to walk, and we'll walk around the park looking at trees and talking about trees. So I don't know, is there any other questions? I didn't ask Roz. Well, we can talk later, I guess, about this. I'm thinking of what kind of materials we're going to need. But I don't know, it's from what I've said so far, any thoughts or questions or comments or anything?
So
Yes,
sorry, go ahead.
I'll just start real quick and say this was sort of like a citywide Arbor Day event, right? So this is on
Yeah, good point.
27th.
Yeah, Arbor Day is actually the 25th, but then the Saturday didn't work for some of us, including our tree guide. So we decided to schedule it on Sunday afternoon, the 27th. But yes, it's an Arbor Day event, and it will help us maintain our status as a tree city.
Great. And what remind me, I know I've asked, I think twice, and you've told me twice, and I keep forgetting. What time does it start?
1 o'clock.
Thank you. Okay. And so then you walk through the sort of the agenda and what we would do, and
Yeah.
how big of a crowd do you expect for this? Just sort of curious.
I always tend to overestimate, so I'm careful about that. But I think that we could expect 35 or 40 people. Something on that order, I think would be a good turnout for this.
Cool.
And the length of the walk is around what?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't walked it out with one of those little machines that
I mean, ballpark. I'm not asking like
I would guess
inches.
it's between a quarter mile and a half a mile.
Okay. Yeah, so a quarter mile is different than 2
Yeah.
miles.
It'll be generally the perimeter of the park, but also with
Okay.
pointing out some of the trees on the interior.
Because one of the things that
Okay.
the reason I ask is what we've
Yeah.
talked about doing a park walks of some, either an organized park walk like a guided walk, or laying out routes, and thinking about how to tie that in with the tree walks that you've done in the past.
Mhm.
And it's a thing that we've sort of talked about and then said, oh, we should talk to the tree board about it, and then here you are. So we're talking about it. Has that ever been something that the tree board's talked about in thinking about programs like this? And is there room to plug in possibly a longer walk that would connect some of the parks that, like something going from the Blue Heron Park where you've got the riparian habitat, maybe going across some different things, or even something that would go as far as Grace Cole where you get a real variety of ecosystems and tree types.
Yeah, and the purposes you've talked about it would be educational in terms of the type of geography you're looking at and the type of vegetation, et cetera.
Talking about that and just helping people understand, what parks are available, what resources are there that, I mean,
Yeah.
I've talked to people who've lived in town for a while and didn't realize that Grace Cole was there.
Right.
And so helping connect people, we've talked about even doing it as a day where we could close roads and have it be a community event, a street party all the way up and down. So there's a lot of things that could come into it if we went all the way out there, but it's been at this level of generality, I think, in the past discussions.
Well, I think you'd find us on the tree board very supportive of that.
Yeah.
Ways that we
All right.
can, yeah, we want to schedule some time to explore it together. We can certainly do that.
Yeah, that'd be great. But this sounds great. And so just the walk would just go once along the route, or are there, like, in the course of the day, would you run the program more than once?
I think we've been thinking of it as once.
Okay.
It would happen once, Joshua. So that's what it'd be, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just, with a walk that short, I could imagine
Yeah.
it doing. I'm not trying to put pressure on you, though.
No, we have not, I think, as a board or tree board, done a kind of adequate job of publicizing those tree walks that are available on the city's website, and we have it in our work plan for the year to make more of an effort to get that word out to people. So there certainly are ways that we can, encourage people to do those things on their own and, at their own schedule. And we'd like to do more of that.
Yeah, Mark, we can talk this weekend too, but I do have like the little speaker system that we use for yoga in the park that maybe you want to use.
That would be good. Exactly. Yes, I was wondering about that. We need to do that. Well, good. I wanted to talk a little bit about details too. So if you have some kind of a speaker system, Corey, that'd be great. I was thinking of one that I know about, but I'm sure that yours is better. It probably would be good to have handy and ready to use. The other thing, I will bring a table. The tree board will provide a table and a tent, an awning type of thing. And probably, Corey, I'm going to want to talk to you about that. I'd probably use one of the city's tents, or, if it looks a day or two in advance like it's going to be 75 degrees and great, we may not need it, but we need to be prepared with that. I was also thinking it'd probably be good to have some kind of light refreshments available, like something to drink, which could be coffee or something else, and maybe some snack type of thing. And wondering if if I could have caught Roz before she left, I would have talked to her about that too. But maybe between the Secret Garden people and the Parks Advisory Board, you all might be willing to provide some of those things too, either something to drink or something to snack.
Yeah, we can chat this weekend and I'll think over some ideas.
Okay, well, I'll be in touch with you and I'll be in touch with Tyler about it and with Roz too, just any last minute practical details we need to make. It sounds like, I don't know, just scouting out the park as to where it would be a good location to have it. Maybe you all have some suggestions with your, maybe more familiarity with the park. It sounded like the place I thought looked good would be about the same place that Roz was talking about for this art installation. There is kind of an open area, I think, just to the north of the playground area. Somewhere in that location is pretty central, I guess.
Even like the little basketball court out there, because it's pretty flat for people to get to. Might be a good
Or out on the
seat.
baseball field could be, and we're not talking about a huge crowd, but it's a nice big flat space.
We're using the speaker. Do we need power?
No, it's
Or is it battery?
chargeable.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it's chargeable.
Oh, right, we use it in the park. Yeah, that's right.
So someone would have to like walk with the tree. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's an issue. I think it'd be really handy when we're together talking about things. Is the system you're talking about, Corey, something that's somewhat portable?
Yeah, it is portable. Someone would just kind of have to walk along.
Oh,
It would be fine. Not heavy. It's easy.
I'll make a point of checking in with you and take a look at it. I'm sure we got a
Yeah, there
system.
you
to
go.
do well.
I'll bring a wagon.
Or that.
Cool, that sounds fun. I mean, it's, I like that we're finally collaborating on a trees in the parks idea. It seems like a natural for our two groups, so I'm glad we kind of ran into each other and talked about it. It's good. Oh, Richie, you have a
Yeah,
comment?
I have a question. I was just wondering if we've talked about it before, like Josh has mentioned about mapping it out with our parks, tree walks that can be done in the parks and can be self-directed. And I was recently at Grace Cole, and I thought it was such a beautiful place to visit. And I was wondering, because I have in the many instances that I've been there, and in the other parts that we have, I have seen very few young people that are out exploring our parks. And I was just wondering if the tree board would consider doing something that would make it, interesting for younger members of our community to visit. And I was thinking in particular of what they did somewhere in, I think this was in Oregon, where and this was done in sculptures and art art where they installed googly eyes, giant googly eyes on artwork. And so that became like, something, oh, okay. I want to see that. So I was thinking, oh, that visually that would be interesting to see trees with giant googly eyes, and then you have, text beneath it explaining what the significance of this tree, what this tree is, what's its significance in the environment, how it helps, what it supports in terms of wildlife and such. So, and then it becomes self-directed and, attracts people of all ages to come and visit and take pictures and learn about trees.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a good idea. You guys have given that some thought, it sounds like. It would be good to attract more young people into the park. Yeah, parks.
Yeah, Richie, I think that's a good one. On the trees in particular, that's good. There are other things we could stick googly eyes on, the giant ones, right? I think that was a like an underground activity in Oregon. I think it was Bend, wasn't it? Where
Oh, yeah,
I think
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
it was quasi defaced with the googly eyes, but man, did you see them? They were actually quite
No.
cute.
Key
So-
partners in that kind of a project too would be the Stewardship Foundation folks.
Yeah.
Who really
Yeah.
have done, as you know, a lot of work in Grace Cole Park and a lot of work up at 5 Acre Woods, and I'm sure feel a certain kind of interest in being sure that the stuff that goes on there is, makes sense and stuff and is not detracting from the park. So they'd be key people to be in touch with, I think, in terms of pursuing ideas like that. And I'm sure they'd be interested in that too.
It kind of gives me more of a Halloween vibe,
Yeah.
but I don't know,
Yeah.
like.
Could dress up a tree somehow or
Yeah.
something in each park.
Yeah.
Would be kind of fun.
Yeah, some of our neighbors have done that. You notice that every now and then. Eyes have been put in nose and, been put on Douglas firs. There's one up at the end of our street that you always glance at when you go by. It's kind of
Yeah, yeah. It's just a way of kind of getting traction in terms of eyeballs with younger people, because it's like you're competing with social media, with their cell phones, and so you have to kind of be creative in getting their attention to, hey, look around you, visit our park, it's interesting. And if initially they come in, they visit the park to take selfies, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. And if in the process they realize, oh, hey, it's nice in this park, I can hang out here, and then they will notice, oh, there's what's happening on that tree at Grace School. There's the bottom of the tree is gnawed, and oh, they discover, oh, there's a beaver here. And so that's kind of you know, just give them that spark and
Yeah.
let them discover it.
There may be other ways too, maybe you've talked about it besides googly eyes too, to kind of accomplish the same goal.
Yeah, I think it's a good one.
Yeah, I like the idea. We'll have to keep thinking and maybe pick a smaller park to try to like test it out
Test
and
it.
keep growing it. Yeah, I think starting the Arbor Day Park Board Tree Board is a good start for
Yeah.
collaboration, and hopefully we can do more partnered events
Yeah.
throughout the year.
Well, I might also throw out there, I like the idea of doing something. It's kind of small, right? Googly eyes are fairly small. It's not like a big activity. Maybe over the next month, think about where we would do that. Like what park, what kind of tree, how would that work? So if I think that's a good idea to revisit. I think it seems pretty easy to do. I think we could do something with it. So
What are
Bring
those,
some ideas.
what is it, I forget the name of it, but where you have coordinates, you have things for people to find.
Geocaching.
like geocache.
Geo what?
I just wrote that.
Yeah, that might be another thing, and maybe even, you know, over a couple of parks. Those maybe are your older kids.
Yep.
But, or just plain scavenger hunts kind of thing.
Yeah, we've talked
Yep.
about that. It's
Yeah.
and I think I think that could be interesting. I think even I mean people I don't feel like people do things like yarn bombing anymore, but to the idea of googly eyes, I think something like that, you know, decorating the trees in some non-destructive way,
Yeah.
some temporary way that sort of makes it a moment could be interesting
Right.
for holidays or for, you know, something seasonal, other things like that.
Educational component, I think it's great too.
Yeah, I agree.
Glad you people are thinking of that. That would be
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
We're getting there, slowly but surely.
All right. Any more questions or comments for Mark and the tree board? Any other ideas for collaboration or questions about what they're up to?
I was not aware of these tree walks. I just went into the site. This is really good. It'd be nice. I can understand why you want to make it a goal to try and get this out there more.
Right. Yeah, it's a pretty simple idea, but kind of neat.
Yeah, so I thought I was engaged in this kind of thing, and I was not aware of these.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody like me could even actually learn more than the 5 or 6 types of trees that I could identify. So that would be good.
Great. Yeah, let's think of some ways. I think there's also, particularly for the one, I think as Josh mentioned earlier, for the walks that are in the parks, like we should give that information in the parks. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like post it somewhere, have some flyers. I don't know.
Sure.
But think-
Wayfinding in the park, signage.
Sure. QR code.
Yeah.
Sign with the QR code.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
the easier way than fly, right? So.
Or even, I mean, you'll sometimes see like little numbered signs
Yeah.
a lot in arboretums and stuff to either just labeled, you know, with the tree species and maybe even with a QR code going back to the Tree Walk website, or you know, just numbered, and it people who are
Yeah.
looking for it know where to look for it.
That's interesting. Actually, my son is in high school now, and he's been thinking of something sort of like that for and like an Eagle Scout project that he's been just considering. He's not quite there yet, but I think there's a group of them around his age, like 5 or 6 kids, who are probably going to be looking for some projects in the next year or so. So that we have these great ideas, and maybe want to like give it as an opportunity for a youth to take the lead on. That could be pretty cool too. So keep thinking of them. I think we're on some good tracks here.
Good.
Cool.
Corey, this may be a question for you. I've never been 100% clear on what the process is if we wanted to put signage of some sort in the park to talk about the tree walks. what practically has to happen from us having that discussion here to a sign being put in?
Yeah, we have like, I mean, if it's temporary, we have a sign permit that we would just submit and get approval. If it's more permanent type thing, that would be a public works project we run by and figure out how much that would be,
But there's not like in that permanent scenario, there's not more like we don't have to vote on it or something. There's just like a conversation and the ball rolls.
yeah, it'd be staff deciding.
Okay.
If it's appropriate or not.
Hey, Corey, you were just reminded me, I did submit an application for that Arbor Day event. A permit
Yeah,
application. Is that okay?
yeah, I just saw it, so it's making its rounds. I think we should be
Okay.
good.
Good to know.
Maybe one last point on the Arbor Day event. I think the part that I was thinking that we or whoever's there from the Parks Board could talk about was a status on the lakefront park, right? And maybe a look forward into what's coming up, what the community can expect in terms of action. That's nice. Or opportunities for more insight or input or more news. So I think there's some things at least tentatively scheduled over the summer, right? Some check-ins with the
Yeah,
community, so we can start rolling those out.
yeah.
Ish.
Tomorrow, really. I'll have a date for
Oh,
the
great.
for the next open house, which would be sometime in June.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
So we can advertise that.
Okay.
I might have a new poster to bring out
Okay.
for that as well. And then we can have I have like these little QR, like a half a page.
Yeah.
Paper we can pass out.
Perfect.
Goes to the website and you can sign up for more news and stuff like that.
All right. Great.
And they did some updates to the website recently, if you guys want to go check it out. But
Haven't seen it lately.
Well, I'll probably log off unless there's any other questions for me. So
No,
thank
we're
you all.
wrapped up.
Yeah, we're looking
Yeah.
forward to working with you on this and nice to meet you. So thank you.
Likewise.
me
Nice.
too.
Nice meeting you.
All right, next on our agenda is Pack the Park 5K on May 10th.
Yeah, just wanted to get you guys aware. If you guys wanna volunteer, or just bring your family down and run the event.
Yeah.
But I'll take volunteers at the booth. You can basically have what we'll have at the Arbor Day at Pack the Park for new poster and open house date and stuff like that.
So that's at Animal Acres.
Yep.
Right.
Animal Acres.
And what time do you think that would be?
The run starts at 9.
Okay.
So
That is
this
this-
year, we'll have the run and then we're gonna do a community gathering with a concert after the run till 2 and beer garden. So,
Oh,
yeah, so it'll be a more robust event. Should be fun.
I'm likely out of town that day, unfortunately.
What day was that
Um,
again?
May 10th.
It's a Saturday.
Yeah, and then the proceeds are all going to either the Angel Fund of the Shoreline School District or the Farmers Market bucks at our food stand. And so, and then the farmers market starts that Sunday as well, so it's a kind of kick off the Lake Forest Park spring, summer.
And I believe if I'm trying to schedule things that weekend and I'm learning slowly that Sunday, the 11th is Mother's
It
Day.
is Mother's Day.
Yeah, just be aware,
Yeah.
everybody, so you don't get surprised like I did.
So come get some flowers.
Right,
At the farmers
perfect.
market for Mother's Day. The opening.
Is that
Okay,
we in the
you-
past for Pack the Park we've talked about getting us certified to serve.
Yeah, no, we have the,
Still necessary or no?
no, that wouldn't be necessary. They're all taking care of that. But, you know, volunteers for just helping, staffing, guarding some of the exits or stuff like that. If you are willing, sure they take helping hands that day, so.
Do you think,
Would you want from 9 to 2 or earlier?
I'll send a, like, DC Evans is one, she owns her own, she's like Forest Park resident, she owns her own, event company, and she does all this one. This is her charity event to the city that she does, and so I'll send a link out to the website, and
That'd be great.
you guys can sign up and look at it more, so.
I might have some scouts who could do some service, not in the beer garden, but
We'll just pick up like, yeah, clean it up, pick up around the park.
Yep.
Um,
or help with the race course or something.
yeah,
Oh, it's only 5K. Do they do water? I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll ask her.
yeah. Yeah, so Perkins will be the main route of that,
Okay.
so that'll be closed, be a nice little stroll. You don't have to run. And that'll be open for an hour.
Okay. Okay. I'll also mention it to a few kids I know on the Shorecrest track team. Seems like maybe something they want to go run a 5K in the neighborhood. Might be their thing. I don't know. I can think of a
Sounds
couple.
like a good fit.
Okay. So that was the Pack the Park. Next is thinking about our April meeting schedule. In particular, our current date, what is it, the
Would be
1, 2, 3, 4, 29th? Am I right there? Or the 22nd?
22nd.
Oh, right, because the April 1st is a Tuesday.
And I think we decided to do the shoreline, if we can do the Shoreline Historical Museum
Yep.
on the 11th, and then we could cancel that our board meeting for the 22nd.
That's Friday, 4/11,
Yeah.
right? At the Historical Society.
Now,
And what time would that be?
so we can do start at between 12 and 3. So whichever works with you all.
Okay.
I'll
Let's
look at
see.
calendars.
I'm pretty flexible that day.
Richie or Josh, do you have a preference on meeting time for the 11th?
Noon would be great.
Noon?
Yes, 3 is it hits the school pickup.
Yeah. So like noon to 1:30, is that kind
Yeah.
of what you're thinking?
Yeah.
How does that sound? We did noon to 1:30?
Yeah.
Bring your own bag lunch. Josh, does that sound okay for you?
Yeah, that day is, given what my schedule has been like recently, that day is remarkably calm. Maybe it's just too far away.
Yeah, yeah.
People will
Only
fill it
so,
up for me. But if I block it out now, I'm all set. So you said 12 to 1:30?
Yeah.
yes. On Friday, April 11th.
April 11th, yes. I have put it on my calendar. No one else can schedule something then.
Let's get it out.
And so we're
That's a
just going to
solid-
notice this, and there's not a open meetings thing.
Well, I'll figure out some of the tour. We might have to stack the tour aspect a little bit, but then we'll just do a regular meeting. It might just be a smaller half hour, 45 minutes meeting, and we'll post it there. They have like a little meeting room. And we'll just do announcement of where it'll be and
Great.
Sounds
Yeah, we
good.
don't have to work shifts or anything. That's good.
might just maybe like some will tour before and then some will tour after. It's not like
big tours.
Not like an hour, few minutes. Okay. Any other thoughts or comments on that timing? Looking okay? Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay. And then, oh, the last thing on our general, what do we call this section? The general topics? Our business section is other, just to leave it open a little bit. Does anybody have anything else to add to the discussion or questions or brilliant ideas? Or
When we were
questionably
talking before about the updates to the design of the lakefront park, and we were talking about signage for the new statue, those mix together in what passes for my brain. And I wonder if we could make like a vinyl poster that could hang on the fence.
Yeah.
Where the park is going to be, to show some of those mock-ups, so that I'm mostly thinking about just a feeling of motion while a lot's happening behind the scenes and there's not a lot that the public can see.
Right.
So I wonder if that might be something that either the city or the consultants could put together just to tell the story a little bit of where we are.
Yeah, we have talked about doing some sort of poster out at site, so we'll get there. It's not quite there yet, but
Okay. If we had one by April, was it 25th? It would be kind of fun to show that off at that Arbor Day.
I will have like a normal size poster.
Oh, okay.
Before then.
But I
But,
really like Josh's idea of a vinyl banner that has a picture, some pictures of the design to be. I really think that's a really good way, and it could stay up, for quite a while.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Something that's
So,
sort of permanently
yeah.
there.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and you can make a good size vinyl banner with pictures for less than you might think.
Yeah, that's on our Horizon to-do list to get something out.
Okay.
Great.
Cool. All right, Lori, anything else from the council?
No, the only thing I would mention is that we had a retreat a few weeks back at the Kenmore Fire Station. And one of the topics we talked about was some kind of plan to allow partial closures of Lower Perkins Way, maybe as a pilot program first, and then eventually, if 70% of the residents agreed, it could be in this program we're calling Healthy Streets, which you may have seen similar things in Seattle where it's a neighborhood street, but basically there's kind of a barricade or a partial barricade, and only residents can really drive in and out of there, or visitors of the residence. And that will encourage walking in that area that's otherwise pretty scary. And part of the interest in doing that is that, the stream bank, the road is right up against the stream bank in some places, and that's not very stable for the long run. So I think we would start with some kind of pilot project, but as Corey says, it's on the list. And there is a lot of council consensus on it, but this is a really busy year for our staff. So I think something will come to pass on Lower Perkins. I just don't know when and where.
Okay. Yeah, that's got some potential. Thank you. I guess I don't think I followed up from the last council meeting I went to, which was I presented the work plan. And I can tell you that went just fine. So it was really actually super interesting to hear from all the other boards who were presenting their work plans. So it was nice to hear about that. That's where Mark and I connected and started talking about some of those the overlap, the pretty obvious overlap between parks and the trees. So,
Tyler did an awesome job.
oh, thanks. It was easy. Like we had some good stuff to talk about, so it was good.
Did you clean anything that we might want to use, like other?
It was really the connection to the tree board. I
Yeah.
would say that was the main one. And some of the ideas they had. I would say some of the, I don't bring them with me or anything, but some of the work plans were really detailed. And I appreciated ours. I will say, like, I think we did a nice job with it. Hit the big issues and then had a little bit of flexibility to kind of like figure out how to do them. So I like that. And I feel like there was a mention of the yoga in the parks. It's like I'm happy to get that one back. So that'll be good. But otherwise, no, I don't remember anything about that. Okay.
If you do know friends or neighbors who would like to be on the Parks Board, now is a good time for applications.
I did get an email of interest from someone that I have to follow up still with, but those
Good.
hopefully people out there.
Okay.
And I'm taking like an ordinance edit. I don't know what you're supposed to call this, but to council Thursday about getting our 7th position turned into a regular voting position, and then requesting, I just put 3 student advisory non-voting positions, because you know, you always want a friend when you're younger.
Yeah,
to
it
these
would help
things.
actually. It's
And
good.
so I was like, might as well just make it 3, 2, you know, if we get a couple volunteers here and there, great. So,
Yeah, I'm sure it will be well supported by the council.
that'll be the first touch.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll have 2 positions technically open
Okay.
sooner rather than,
That'd be great. Let's talk to the high school about that, right? In particular,
yeah.
Shorecrest.
Going back
Josh?
to the healthy streets idea, there's a bill in the legislature that I saw. I may have emailed the city council about it and saying, hey, this looks cool. That would allow lower speed limits on streets that are designated in a particular way. I think it could go down to like 10 miles an hour. And so it would, because right now it's confusing with the Seattle program. The street is kind of closed and it's kind of open, and the state law doesn't really allow that in between space. And so since that bill dropped, I've been sort of thinking about how that would look, and wondering if there's a park's role in designing the space or recruiting. You know, I could imagine in some areas where streets have been closed or at least have been pedestrianized in part, planters have been used as one of the ways to slow or block traffic, and whether there's like with the Secret Garden folks or with other groups in the community, recruiting volunteers to then care for plantings, or even for the outreach part of it. That it's where a question that I've had at times is sort of what the limits of our recreation role is. Of is that a place where people are recreating in the street? We're encouraging walking and biking. Is there something that we can do to help with outreach and with community feedback on how they would want implementation to go? You know, is there a way that we can be helpful is the question.
I love that idea. I think if we just do a pilot program, it wouldn't be very permanent. But if we do have a healthy streets ordinance.
Right.
And it does have to be 70% of the neighbors, but at that point, when we're designing it, and I completely agree, it's better to have, you know, those heavy concrete planters and some kind of beautification than just a big concrete bollard, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Bollards are great. I love bollards. Don't get me
Yeah.
started, but
Yeah, but
I see.
I think it's a multi-year kind of process just because we have so much on our plate right now and limited staff.
Yeah.
As
well,
Corey
and that's why
knows,
the part of the question
Corey,
of,
our friend who has many hats.
right. If there are ways that we, as part, I mean, we've done some community outreach with the parks, obviously. If there are ways that can be part of the work plan, I think that would be cool. I think it'd be fun.
Okay.
And I will say in that regard, a little plug for an extracurricular project of mine. I'm starting an urbanism book club at Third Place Books. First meeting is Thursday. And among one of the books that we may get to is Street Fight by the New York City transportation director for a long time, who used those planters to great effect and talks up the wonders that can be achieved with a planter and some paint on a street to really transform
Yeah.
how people use the space. So it's meant to like engage. That part of my hope is that it engages those sorts of discussions of like, how can we have a street that do that, and if the Parks Board can do that also, that I think we'd.
I love that idea, especially, oh, excuse me, especially if we're trying to find out what the neighbors are thinking and have a conversation. I love that outreach idea.
Great. That was some good other business. Nice job, everybody. Any more to add? It was a good discussion.
No, I'll have community events calendar out soon.
Okay.
For summer.
Is there anything we need to start doing now for the yoga?
I'll circle back next week with you.
Sounds fine. No problem.
Was there, I never, between kids and everything else, never really made it to yoga in the park. Were there people who were especially like frequent attendees who could maybe be recruited as a Parks Board member to take on the vacuum that Alice's absence leaves us with?
I don't know, but I will reach out to Alice. I will say that and start there because she did say
Yeah.
she'd help out in some sort,
Mhm.
even just getting those contacts. But I'm
And
gonna try
emailing the people who had attended, if we have the attendee list.
yeah, I have all the lists, so
Because
we'll
I
be
mean,
able-
even just emailing them and saying, "Hey, we're recruiting." Either, I mean, I could be recruiting a Parks Board member, but even just a volunteer to do that, they don't have to necessarily sign up for the whole thing, right?
Yeah. I think one aspect of it will be if that's why they gave us their email address, was to contact them for that kind of stuff, or like the more broad contact or specific to that class they signed up for.
yeah,
Can't
I'll have to
remember.
look at it.
Yeah.
I mean,
If
it
we
can
off-
be framed as your, dear
Yeah.
yoga attendees, we would love to continue yoga this summer. It will take some logistics. Are you interested in helping organize it?
Yeah.
So it's not wildly out of scope from what they signed up for.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we have some email groups too. I'll
Oh,
look
okay.
into.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good idea, Josh.
Yeah, it is. That's a group of people we know likes to spend time in a park, so somebody on there's got some interest in parks.
I should hope.
Right? Or for yoga, I don't know.
One way or the, I mean, we've got a pickleball seat on the Parks Board. We've got a yoga seat on the Parks Board. We've got student seats on the Parks Board.
Yeah.
That's
I've
how it works.
also, in my draft to council, I'm opening it up to, like one of the positions could be a business owner in Lake Forest Park too. We used to do that back in the day, so we'll see if council likes that, but I was thinking it might be nice to have like a town center representative, some sort to, but we'll see.
Oh yeah, the owner of that new ice cream place might be interested,
Or the bike shop,
or the bike shop.
Right.
or the fly fishers and the birders.
And then with that, essentially, what's the requirement for being on a city advisory board
Own or
Okay.
live in Lake Forest
or
Park
have a business?
or own property, or I'm gonna try to open it up to own a business.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Okay.
Not very many. Not a whole lot of areas, so.
Right. Kind of one. Well, I guess there's some more Lake City.
Yeah. They're very good stuff.
Okay. Okay, with that, I think I'm gonna move on to public comments. Is there any public? Okay. Well, anybody watching this on video, like, come on down to our meetings and you can ask us questions directly. Or just watch it in the comfort of your home. That's great. Okay, with that, no public comments. Thank you, everybody. I think then we are adjourned for the month. See you in April.
And then there's not a regularly scheduled session here,
Yeah,
is that right?
cancel. Yeah, we'll cancel.
Not on the 22nd, only on the 11th.
Correct.
Great, okay.